Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Official Naija FPL. I'm your host Jays, and with me in the studio we have Agwoturumbe.
It's Agwoturumbe.
And
I'm Tall2cee.
yeah, another member that's slowly becoming usual suspect. So yeah, we'll dive.
He has been missing for a couple of weeks now because he wasn't doing
Not
well.
a couple of weeks. Just last
He
week.
came here to flex your muscle today.
Just last week.
Let me not start.
But we hope to see you more in the studio, right?
Of course, you've seen
Alright,
me.
All right, guys. So we're going to be reviewing game week 6, and we'll talk about the fixtures and the players that had the most points. So yeah, let's dive straight
It
in.
was an interesting game week.
Very interesting game week.
A lot of people racked up a lot of points, but funny enough, I was in that category.
Sorry, I had 108 points.
Let's talk about the fixtures here first, then we'll go back to our teams. But yeah, Man City, Nottingham Forest. What did you think about that, Tottenham?
Well, that was a fantastic game. I was impressed with City's defense, at least for
Even after the red card.
No, for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
At least they kept a clean sheet.
Yeah,
So I was impressed with that.
with a
10
red
men-
card
10 men
also.
again.
With the red card.
Yeah,
Rodri had a red
they
card
kept,
now.
they kept
Yeah,
a
they
clean
kept
sheet.
a
So
clean
it was a good one for me, especially for the fact that I have Kyle Walker and he provided an assist.
Yeah.
I had 11 points from
See
him.
as he's
Wow.
smiling.
So Alan also came through, although just one goal.
Just one goal.
It was a high scoring week for a lot of attackers, but Alan 6 points. I'll take it like that, and he was my captain,
Okay,
so it was a good one.
all right. Brentford, Everton. I go.
Brentford, Everton. It was an interesting game. Happy for Everton that they finally got their 3 points. Calvin Lewin, first goal of the season. Dakore scored 2, but bad for Brentford.
Next fixture, Burnley, Man United, Tottenham.
So I'm happy for Onana owners. At least they're able to
Had a
get
clean sheet.
they're able to get points.
Were you
from the
surprised to see Johnny Evans start and
Well,
even provide an amazing assist
well,
for that Bruno
I'm not
Fernandes
surprised.
goal?
They have injury crisis in that department, so
they had to bring
definitely he's going to start.
Injury crisis, but Harry Maguire is not injured.
Will you
so-
prefer Maguire to Evans?
No,
If you
Evans,
were-
36-year-old, starting ahead of
He's a
Maguire,
veteran. He's a veteran
the
defender.
England captain.
But he's a veteran defender. And if you were to be the coach, I want to throw this question to you. Will you prefer Maguire or Evans in your defense?
I'm not the coach. I don't watch their training. Obviously, he's doing something amazing in training, and I heard that he organizes his teammates very well. So
So that was just
Organized
it.
defense.
And that was why I was able to provide an assist. And good one for the owners of Bruno Fernandes. He scored a goal in that match, so it's also a good one.
Onana.
So
And funny enough, Onana is among the most transferred players out of the FPL
For last
game
week.
with 6, and he kept a clean sheet.
yeah.
So keep faith in your players, guys.
The next fixture we're looking at Arsenal Tottenham. I mean, very interesting game. Saka pulled in a goal and assist, and Madison 2 assists for Son and 2 goals for Son as well.
So you call it an interesting game. I call it an annoying game because the game I felt we should have won. Not leave the Jorginho error outside. We had chances. Gabriel Jesus. Then there's one annoying incident that happened. After Saka scored, he tried the Madison celebration. Then immediately after, Madison turned him for the assist. You understand?
That was swift.
That was swift.
Yes, and so I felt he shouldn't have
That was
done
very
that
sweet.
celebration. He did it against Man U, the Rashford this thing, he did it again, and see after that he scored the penalty, but he didn't have a really impactful game like that. Then Jesus that I just bought, expecting that the guy is fresh. The guy had an opportunity. I don't know. Normal Jesus will calm down and place that ball. But after robbing Madison off the ball, he just blasted it over. And to be honest, if he had scored that goal, it would have put Madison off.
To
You
have
understand?
put Tottenham
Madison
off.
would have been demoralized.
Yes.
But after that, he went ahead and had 2 assists, Son 2 goals. A lot of people sold Son,
Right.
but Son popped this week. So it was an annoying game from an Arsenal
I ate
perspective.
good from Son. It's good from Son.
But I'm happy for Ben White. Even though Arsenal conceded 2 goals, he forced the penalty. So I got about 6 points from Ben White. Odegaard, I don't know. Odegaard also had 1 point. So I think that contributed to my low game week. Very, very annoying. Then Jesus missing that glorious chance. So you call it an interesting game again. I'll say it was a fucking annoying game, man.
I think Arsenal play beautiful football these days, but they don't get the results. So their game is always an high intensity game. And there's one thing with that Arsenal team that I don't like. The problem is usually the defense. They are very suspect when it comes to counter-attack. If you face a counter-attack, if Arsenal faces a counter-attacking team, they will concede goals. And that was the challenge they had against Tottenham. Tottenham were not creating more chances.
Yeah.
They didn't create more chances. It's whenever they go on the counter, they get those goals. And it's probably something
the goals were individual errors now. You won't expect a player of Jorginho's caliber to hold the ball.
But the first goal was not an individual error.
Right.
Individual, you say it wasn't an individual error. See the way Madison turned Saka. Son tapping. See how it was between three defenders, 3 Arsenal defenders.
You're talking from an Arsenal point of view. So you're not talking as an FPL expert right now. You're putting your emotions in this.
Sorry, Agwo.
Moving on to the next game.
Sorry, Agwo.
So we have Brighton. Bournemouth.
Wow. Initially, when I saw the lineup and I didn't see Mitoma there because Mitoma is the player that I have in Brighton, I was not happy. So I was like, okay, he should not even play. I have an Archer on the bench that plays for Sheffield. So I was hoping that if he does not play, Archer might probably score and he'll come in as an automatic substitution. So Mitoma came in the second half, and before you know it, 2 goals, man. And that was I had good from him. So
he had good last week now.
That's good from everybody now.
See how his skin is shining. It's glowing.
That's why it's on set today.
It's good now.
All right.
You have Estupinian too.
And Estupinian
No,
as well.
I don't have Estupinian.
He had 1 assist now.
But I don't have Estupinian.
It was an interesting game.
I said it the other day.
Considering they even came from behind.
Yeah, they came from
the game.
behind.
So
I said the other day, Ferguson's hat-trick. If you want to look that Ferguson scored an hat-trick and you want to get him, but you not go get point too.
You wait for 6 more weeks for him to come.
Right, moving on, guys. Liverpool, West Ham.
Liverpool West Ham was an interesting game. Liverpool conceded first. Bowen. A lot of people don't have Bowen, but Bowen.
I was about to say that.
Bowen is a good differential.
Do you know that I sold
Bowen.
Gerard Bowen and I sold Madison? I had a poor game week, but let's not go there.
Not as bad as mine. But it was an interesting game week for FPL enthusiasts and people that had Liverpool assets, especially Salah. Salah has been consistent, super consistent. Goal and assist, Nunez, Jota. So it was an interesting game week and a lot of points there.
All right.
Agwo, do you think you'll be able to afford Haaland and Salah in your team?
I have both of them.
In your team?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have both of them.
Wow. But do you think it will not affect the depth of quality FPL players you have?
It will definitely affect, because I mean the prices are quite high.
Very high.
So you'll be restricted on getting other players that can make impacts as well. So
for me, the Salah, Haaland must-haves.
Salah, Haaland, yes.
But most people just go with one, either Haaland or Salah, than having both in their team.
I am comfortable with both of them. Yes,
all right.
My other underpriced midfielders have been producing, although I intend to. Okay, let's not talk about that now. Talk about that when we're.
All right, guys. Moving on to the last exciting fixture.
Of
Sheffield,
Newcastle. Wow.
8 different goal scorers.
I think that's the first time it happened
8 different
in the Premiership.
It was amazing, guys.
See, I spoke about Newcastle defenders last week.
Yeah.
That it's time to start backing Newcastle defenders. Botman, Shah,
And Trippier had that.
2 assists.
Massive
3 assists. 3 assists.
Massive
Hat-trick of assists. Then Botman.
Don't tell me Trippier.
I heard him.
Let's see.
That's why you're in the set or set today, but no wala.
18 points, 3 assists.
See, I sold
What are you saying?
Isak for Jesus, and Isak had a goal. Then, but I have Botman, so he
Callum
gave,
Wilson also had a
he
goal.
gave me points.
I think Bruno G too
Game
scored.
points.
Almiron, a lot of goal scorers.
But and
Botman.
I don't think
Almiron, Bruno G.
Newcastle have not scored 8 goals against any team since the time of Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for Eddie Howe.
All right, guys, let's review our team, and I'll start with Tall2cee. Man, I know you've been eager to talk about your team, but
I'll take it slow. I'll take it slow. Okay, so in go ahead, Leno. Leno had 10 points. I brought in White last game week. He gave me 4 points. I have Trippier.
yeah,
Trippier gave me 18 points. That's with 3 assists. Walker gave me 11 points. In midfield, I have Mitoma. Mitoma gave me 14 points. Saka gave me 13 points.
Man.
God, I'm just calling double figures. Madison gave me 9 points.
Maybe they sang that song for you.
Son
Miriam,
gave me
you know they
14
tired
points.
Jesus.
Son gave me 14 points. Then Alvarez, that I just brought in, gave me 1 point. I'm disappointed. Then Alan gave me 12 points. So that was my game week.
For me, it was a disappointing game week in terms of points. A couple of players did not turn up for me. Eze, Alvarez, Haaland gave me points. Jesus that I just bought gave me only 2 points after missing that glorious chance. Funny enough, I sold Isak for Jesus, and Isak popped. Jesus refused to pop. Salah gave me points. Botman gave me 12 points, so that's helped stem the tide. It was not really amazing for me. 56 points in total, so
That's
well, guys, for me,
below average.
below average. Yeah, so it's
well, guys, for me, I had a very poor game week. I'm very sad to even talk about my team. Usually, this time of the season, I might be hanging my boots, but this season I'm going to try my best.
hanging up. Did you just say hanging your boots after 5 games or 6 games?
But yeah, let's talk about my team.
You started well now. You started very well.
Yeah,
So-
I'm on the come up. Don't worry, guys. I had Botman,
Pop now.
Akanji, Botman 12 points, Akanji 5 points, Estupinian 6 points. I had Havertz. Boy, shame.
Well, I can't know. I thought. Wait. For someone that has not scored,
I believe.
do you know that he has hit 007?
Was it not that? Oh, okay, it's not 007 now. 007.
007, 0 goals, 0 assists in 7 games.
Bro.
I made.
What was the reasoning behind that?
I made bad decisions last week. I made
and
terrible
you used your wild
decisions.
card to buy.
And I used
Kai.
my wild.
And it didn't
Kai!
even start.
See, guys, should we move on?
Yeah, we can move on.
Right, guys. So we'll also be looking at most transferred players for game week 7 and most transferred players out for game week 7 as well. So, Botman, Son.
After 12 points, won't you bring him in? Son, after 2 goals against high and mighty Arsenal, won't you bring him?
I mean,
Bring him in, so.
and then we have Trippier, Mitoma, and Morris for Luton. I mean,
I'm surprised. Why are people bringing in Morris? What's the motivation?
he scored a goal. I mean, so
They have his easy fixtures
considering.
coming up.
I guess.
They're even the easy opponents.
Right.
Yeah.
And then most transferred players out, you have Chilwell, Rodri. You can.
Yeah, because of the red cards, he's going to miss
Yeah.
3 games.
Why are people buying Rodri?
But Rodri as
first
an
place.
FPL
Yeah.
asset is kind of odd.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
because
mean,
beginning of the
but
season
funny
he was
enough, I mean, he has scored and even created.
even
and
in preseason he was
even
scoring
given
a lot.
assists as
But
well.
how
So,
often will he deliver? That's the question. As a DM.
yeah, you can ask that question, right? So,
An
and
odd
then you
choice.
have 2 players from Chelsea, Gusto and Jackson,
Chelsea.
and,
So
then-
not amongst the most transferred out
and
players.
Rashford. No, at all.
Rashford, that's interesting. Rashford.
And Jackson just recently scored
Scored.
yesterday.
You see, that's the beauty of FPL. It's unpredictable. You understand? You buy a player this week hoping that he will score. He doesn't score. That player that you sell to buy that player now scores a hat trick. Yes, crazy, man.
Yeah, village people are pushing you.
All right, guys, we're going to go on a short break and we'll be right back. Right, guys, welcome back to the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to all our social media platforms. They're all up on the screen. And also, don't forget to join our official Naija FPL league. The code is on the screen as well. Right, we'll be talking about the ONF winners, the top 3 winners for game week 6. The first is Laykerz. He had 113 points.
Wow.
And then the second guy is Timpaul. He had 112 points. And the third, Banter Cfc, had 108 points. Right, like I said earlier, we're looking at the most transferred in for game week 7. We have Botman, Son, Trippier, Mitoma, and Morris. And most transferred out, we have Chilwell, Rodri, Gusto, Jackson, and Rashford. Let's see how that affects this game week fixture. Right, so let's dive straight into the fixture. We have Aston Villa, Brighton. So Tall2cee, what do you think about that game?
I think this is the time for Diaby to come back to form.
Right.
Also, Watkins is scored in the last game, so I think he can also do something in this game.
Diaby has been pretty consistent. You can't say he has had a couple of goals.
I think for almost 2 games
and he
now, he has
assisted
not
the
done
last
anything.
in the last game.
He has been getting blanks for like 2 to 3 game weeks now.
He had an assist last 2 game
2
weeks
games,
though.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
Still fair enough.
Right.
Then looking at Brighton, as always now, Mitoma is there now. Mitoma is there, but they have a lot of options in their center forward
you think it's going to be an open game?
So they have Welbeck, they have João Pedro.
Why was Mitoma really benched at first?
They played midweek now.
I don't know the reason why.
Europa
Maybe probably
League.
because of the Europa League
Okay.
or something.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be an open game, like you said. It's going to be an open game. But that game, I'm seeing it to be a draw. To end as a draw.
Right. Bournemouth Arsenal.
Bournemouth Arsenal. I expect it to be a high scoring game from Arsenal's perspective because the coach Mikel Arteta has been harping on that his forward line, they've not been firing on all cylinders, so he needs them to produce more goals. So I expect people like Jesus to produce. Saka has been pretty consistent. Odegaard was a little bit quiet in the last game. Then at the back,
I mean, Arsenal are fond of keeping a clean sheet away, so
at the back, a lot of people are bringing in Ben White. Gabriel is also there. Then I don't think a lot of people have David Raya since he's going to be the number 1.
Are we sure he's number 1 now?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be the number 1
He will
choice.
But do you think
definitely
he's still rotating?
No, let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
People will start selling Ramsdale and bringing in.
Is there a reason why Ramsdale is now sitting on the bench?
The coach feels he's better, but I feel they are on the same level.
Okay.
You understand?
okay.
They're on the same level. For Bournemouth, Solanke scored in the last game, and he has had a couple of goals this season. So
I think Billing is due for an assist or a goal.
Everton Luton. I mean, most transferred players in, we have Morris.
For me, Everton is going to win that game. They're back to form. They have Calvert-Lewin is back, and he has always been that explosive striker.
Scored in the Carabao Cup too.
He also scored in the last game.
Yeah,
week.
and
So I'm expecting Everton to win. They'll fire from all cylinders. They have an explosive midfield of Doucouré, of Ganagay, of this guy. What's the name of this guy? Onana. So I expect them to win. And
a
they
lot
also
of people had Pickford last season, but funny enough, he has been quiet in the FPL scene
this season.
So
I feel
it's a game that Everton might keep their first clean sheet of the season.
Well, so are you advising FPL managers to bring in Pickford for this particular game week?
No.
So that's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
So moving on, Man U Crystal Palace. Well, for me, Man U Crystal Palace. Well, I will still keep Rashford.
You still keep Rashford, even though he's one of the most transferred out players.
I mean, for that fixture right now, you get me. So, Rashford, Fernandes, Edward from Crystal Palace.
You see, it's something that people have been overlooking is Casemiro. He has been playing amazing in the final third. 5 goals contribution.
He's arriving late in the
this
box.
season. Understand?
Yeah.
So
Massive
He
runs.
had an
And-
assist last game.
So
Yeah,
as an FPL asset, someone to consider. Then Johnny Evans, that is back in the starting 11.
A veteran.
Hodgland is an option to look at. It's
Yeah,
not really expensive.
Hoylund.
Hodgland. So it's not really expensive, and he looks like a cheaper version of Haaland. So even though he's a cheaper version of Haaland, you expect him to score at least half of what Haaland does.
All right.
So
we're looking at
for Crystal Palace, I have Eze. I think I might sell him because
You still have Eze.
I still have Eze.
Wow,
I
you
still
have
have Eze.
enough
I
patience.
still have Eze.
I sold him and brought him
I'm going
Madison.
to. I really don't even know what I'll do with my team.
And the week
but
I sold him, he scored. So I didn't bother. But since I had the Madison, I know Madison will still deliver. So I was looking at Madison's returns on the long run. However, Madison is injured now, 75%.
Okay, next fixture. Newcastle Burnley. Tall2cee.
Newcastle will win the game for sure.
Assets.
I don't. So there's a problem with this Newcastle team. Who is going to start between Wilson and what's his name? Isak. Who started yesterday in the Carabao Cup? Isak started.
Yes.
Wilson started the
The
EPL.
last game, yes.
Okay, so let's give it to Wilson.
Isak
Let's give
started
it to Wilson.
the Champions League game. So, but that's why
I think Wilson.
that's why I
Wilson is
said,
going to start.
just
this
leave Liverpool, leave Newcastle attackers.
Centre forwards.
Focus on their defenders. Their defenders will give you mad points. They are coming back to form. They are not conceding goals. Their defenders are assisting.
I mean,
or scoring.
they
I think their
beat
midfielders
Man
are
City
also
yesterday
something you can
in the
consider.
cup as well.
Bruno G.
Longstaff, Almiron,
Bruno G.
Gumerez. They are not really producing consistently.
But
Someone I'll look at is Anthony Gordon because the coach seems to like him.
Over
And
Barnes.
he had a goal and assist in the last game.
So like he said, I think their midfielders are going to deliver a lot in this coming gaming weeks. The likes of Trippier, he's on set pieces.
Midfielder, defender.
No, sorry, defenders. The likes of Trippier is on set pieces. Botman is there, Bond is there. So I think they'll come good. Then the midfielders also Bruno G. Who is there? again? Tonali is there. Almiron. So I just think Newcastle assets are must have in this period. They're playing Burnley, right? No. Burnley.
No, I mean, if you
you don't need
recall,
the Burnley
if,
assets. You don't need the Burnley
Jason
assets.
seems to like Foster.
if everyone will recall,
But
I always
is it done with
recommend.
his-
I always recommend Foster for
Is
you
it
guys.
done with his suspension?
But it's not done with suspension, unfortunately. So, and I don't see them getting any goals. So
Even the Burnley
assets from-
defender that I have, I've not been using in Bayer. Just kept him on the bench. I bought him because it's affordable, 4.0.
All right, moving on. Next fixture, we're looking at West Ham, Sheffield United.
Oh, West Ham share. I spoke about Jared Bowen.
Jared
I
Bowen.
think he's a must-have now.
I must bring him in.
If I'm going to sell Eze, I'll think about bringing in Bowen. I'll think about bringing in Bowen. So,
I'll also bring him in for this game week. Somebody I want to consider. Luis Diaz has not been doing well for me, so I think it's time to sell.
for West Ham, that's the player I'll look out for.
Moving on, Wolves, Man City.
Haaland, double brace. That's a double brace for Haaland. So I think people should also go for City defenders this period. I don't see Wolves as a threat. Although when Wolves and Liverpool were to play, Agwo said Wolves were going to score.
And they scored.
And Afinibi was tackling you that day. Why are you saying that? But I don't think Wolves are going to score.
How do you
City.
think this Rodgers red card would affect Man City's
midfield?
setup now? I know Calvin Phillips will be brought back in.
Even some of their defenders can play in that position.
We'll still have. Yeah, he can bring in. Jones is injured.
So he can play Akonji there and probably,
But
get another defender.
I don't
put another
think
defender in defense.
he'll want to gamble. He'll bring in Phillips. Phillips started the Carabao Cup
Against
and
the Wolves.
yeah, and he has been hyping him up. So he want to big him up and get him prepared for the Arsenal game.
Then another thing, I want to say something. I know Grealish just came back from injury and Doku has been doing very well on that left wing.
He has
But
been
for
off the
me,
boil,
I don't see Grealish benching Doku at this period.
Yeah. Pep has always wanted an out-and-out winger, someone that understands the dynamics of being a winger. Just stay on the byline, wait for the ball,
Like when they had
run at defenders.
Sane and Sterling.
Yeah, I see Doku as an upgrade of Sterling. He's young, he's pacey, he's very, very fast, and he's good on one-on-one. Then and we've seen that he can score.
Yeah.
So we should be looking at him as an asset, and I'm sure Pep.
So the challenge with Grealish was that last season he had 5 goals, 5 assists as a winger, but Pep was praising him for his defensive work. And as a winger, we're not looking out for you to defend. We're looking out for you to score and assist. So in all competitions, 5 goals, 5 assists is not a good return for a winger. And I think when Doku recently joined, he was talking about how they used to have Sane and Sterling on the wings, how they were very explosive. So I think it's time for Grealish to sit on the bench.
All right.
It's not somebody to consider.
So we're looking at the usual suspects in Man City. Haaland, Alvarez.
Drew a blank last week, and I'm
Are we sure
expecting.
Foden is going to
Walker.
start?
I don't
Because
think.
I might see probably a rotation. Maybe Bernardo Silva will play this week, and Foden will sit on the bench.
I mean, considering Champions League, do we have Champions League this?
Yeah,
this
after
Tuesday?
this,
So, I mean, so
following
there'll be
Tuesday.
rotation. I mean, so we really have to consider that, guys. Next fixture: Spurs, Liverpool. Agwo, what do you?
Spurs, Liverpool. It's they've had both teams. It will be a high-scoring game. You have you've seen that Son is one of the players that has been bought into their different FPL teams. So you expect that something will happen. Liverpool and Arsenal are the only teams that have not lost any game in England. So I don't expect them to lose against Liverpool. Tottenham always finds it difficult, but they've been scoring a lot of goals these days, and I'll expect goals. I expect
galore.
I'll expect a similar game to that of Arsenal, but I expect Liverpool to win. I expect Salah to score. I expect Nunes to score.
I think the game where did they draw? That Spurs team.
I can
That
I can bet
very compact team.
I can bet 100k if you want to put your money where your mouth is.
I'm not putting my money. But
So
I know they will draw that game.
so
It's not going to be easy for Liverpool. I'm telling you. It's going to be a draw. It's going to be a draw.
It's going to be easy for Liverpool
It's
because
okay.
I saw
Are you sure?
I saw their game against Arsenal, and if we were on top of our game, we would have
You're going
cut
back.
them.
You're going back to this house now.
There's nothing emotional about that. I'm just telling you that their setup is not that amazing.
But they got a draw at the Emirates.
They got a draw. I don't expect them to get a draw against a goalless draw again, for that matter, against Liverpool. Liverpool will score more than one even.
They will also score Liverpool because Liverpool defense is not that
Definitely,
classic.
that's why I said
as
it's
it
going to
stands.
be.
So we're looking at full access from both teams.
Yes.
The likes
Son,
of Son,
Maddison.
Madison.
People have not been talking about Trent this season.
Trent is not performing.
He's
I've
not
said
really
it. I've said it
performing,
in
so-
several episodes that Trent is not an asset it is to have this season.
And it's very expensive.
Yes, and
Alongside
even
Robertson.
Trippier just started popping now. He wasn't popping in the
Yeah.
beginning. So let's hope that going forward, Trent will. It's because of the new position he's playing. He's playing as an inverted midfielder.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's not overlapping and bringing assists again. So, as you said, usual suspects: Son, Madison, and
Salah.
Tottenham players. People should be looking at Udogi.
Well,
That's
Against the
okay.
Liverpool.
all right. Considering they will concede, so it's really not a consideration.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have Nottingham Forest, Brentford. So to
Wow. Who's at home?
see. Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest. I give it to Brentford. I give that game to Brentford.
What
So
about assets?
you expect people like Wisa and Bremo to pop.
Yeah, I give it to Brentford. Because if you look at the Nottingham Forest coach, you have attacking assets, but you don't start them. You have what's it called? Otin Odoi. You have Elanga.
Although he
You
started
have,
the last game now, and he scored.
Did he start the last?
He
game?
didn't start. He came
The,
on.
He
the,
started
the
the
penultimate
last
game. So he
didn't
started
start
the
the last
penultimate game and he scored.
You have Elanga. You have Origi. You don't start them. Those are the people that can push your attack.
He-
So
he-
probably if he starts them, they
Yeah.
might do well. But I see Brentford winning that game.
He's the coach. He sees them in training.
It's conservative.
And,
now.
he has
It's
to be-
conservative style.
He's not conservative. He has to be consistent with his team.
Oh.
And the teams that he has been putting up they have been performing. Awoni has been producing a goal or an assist every other game. So will you tell him to bench Awoni?
No, I'm not even talking about I'm talking about the wings now. Origi can play on the wing. Elanga is a winger. Otsinodo is a winger. Start your explosive players from the onset. Let them burn your opponents.
But I think that's what he will do against Brentford. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to defend, and he's playing at
He
home.
needs to do that.
So,
all right, guys. I really hope you guys are getting your players from all these suggestions. Right, moving on to the next game, we have Fulham Chelsea.
We talk about it now.
Man, that fixture, I really don't see any assets in any. I mean, Jackson scored in the Carabao Cup, but I really don't know if he would be considered.
There's an asset for me that's
considering he's part of the most transferred players out.
No, I'm not even talking about
consistently for
Chelsea
like
assets.
4 game weeks. Okay,
I'm talking about Fulham.
Fulham, right?
Fulham will not concede a goal in that game. Who wants to score for Chelsea? Is it Modric?
they have Sterling now.
Is it Sterling that wants to score?
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
They might end up turning up, So I mean,
let's see how it goes.
If you guys really want to, I mean,
they won their last game, even though it's in the Carabao Cup against Brighton, high flying Brighton. So you would expect that they will do something reasonable against Fulham. Fulham have not been that amazing this season, so I'll expect and it's a London derby. I'll expect.
They've had 3 clean sheets this season. Fulham.
I'll expect Chelsea to score.
Right.
Who will score? I don't know.
Right. I mean, we can't have all the Chelsea attackers.
For as FPL assets, it's hard to pick a particular player in Chelsea.
Not even a Jackson.
Not even a Jackson.
All right, and we have a double game week for Luton Burnley. I mean, they missed their second fixture, so
yeah.
I mean, and that's considering
Morris.
the double game week. Do you feel like we need players from Burnley and Luton?
I don't really think I need anybody from them, but I've been seeing people moving for Morris, the Luton striker, maybe probably because he scored the penalty in this past game week.
Okay.
But for me, I don't think I would take any players from both teams because I don't see them delivering points for me. Although I have Bayer from Burnley, but I'm not going to start him because I don't think he'll bring in any returns.
Okay. You don't think he'll give you 2 clean sheets?
I don't even think about that. Burnley is not the Burnley we used to know before under Sean Dyche.
They're more expressive under company.
Expressive, but they are beating them anyhow. They are chopping it anyhow.
They're new in the league now.
So when Sean Dyche was the coach, you could probably say if Burnley is playing at home, you can use a Burnley defender.
Yeah.
When they had the likes of Ben Mee, Tarkowski, they had the likes of Loyton, the likes of Charlie Taylor as left back, then you could use Burnley or Pope as the goalkeeper back then. Then you could use Burnley, but not now. Company is a student of Pep, so he wants to express himself. He like expressing himself.
All right. So guys, with all that has been said, who would we suggest for our captain choice?
I can't sign somebody for 14 million and I'll not make him the captain. It's not possible. It's still going to be a Haaland for me. And they are playing Wolves. Yeah. Wolves have not been spectacular. Their defense is not top notch. So I think I'll go for Haaland. And I don't see Pep benching Haaland because Haaland plays almost every Premier League game. So let's forget about Champions League that is going to hold next Tuesday. So I'll still go for Haaland. Haaland is my captain.
All right, Agwo, you feel the same way?
Haaland is like the first name when everybody talks about captain. So he'll be my captain choice. But looking at around, I would have said captain Salah. But Salah scoring more than 1 goal or assist against Tottenham. It's 50-50. So I'll be looking at someone like Saka to captain against Bournemouth, hoping he'll pop and give you a couple of goals, assists. He had a knock in the last game. I'm hoping he'll be fit to play the game. And if it's fit, I'll look at Saka.
All right.
Choice.
Well, for me, guys, I would always go with someone different. For me, I would go with Gabriel Jesus against Bournemouth.
Are you sure he's going to start ahead of Nketiah as the centre forward?
No, he will start
as the centre forward. The last game he didn't start as the centre forward. He started on the left wing.
Nketiah has been he has not taken his chances.
Are you sure?
He has not taken his chances. Yeah,
I think
In
it's
the
on
last-
2 or 3 Premier League goals now.
in the last couple of games. In the last couple of games, he has not taken his chances. From what we saw in the Carabao Cup, you don't be surprised if Reece Nelson starts
On the left
on the
wing.
left.
Ahead of Trossard
Jesus. Trossard is injured.
and Martinelli. Okay.
Martinelli too is injured.
Wow.
So don't be surprised if Nelson starts on the right, on the left, and Jesus in the middle. Then Nketiah will come from the bench. So
I have a strong feeling Gabriel Jesus was going to start. So my captain choice would be
Gabriel
Gabriel
Jesus.
Jesus. All right, guys, we're coming to the end of the show. But before we go, we just want to talk about our Nigerian brother, Victor Osihmhen.
maybe that's why I told to see wearing the Nigerian jersey today.
So, Tall2cee, what do you feel about the Victor Osihmhen situation?
Well, what's the Napoli TikTok admin posted on TikTok about? I think there were 2 videos.
Yeah.
Mocking us. One was mocking Osihmhen for losing a penalty. The other was describing Osihmhen as a coconut head. So
that
was
was racist.
That was very, very bad for an admin to do that. And Osihmhen, I must commend him. He showed professionalism. Despite all that happened, if there to be some other players, they will not play the last match that they had yesterday.
Yeah.
And a lovely one for him. He scored in the match. The Napoli fans gave him a standing ovation after he was substituted by Giovanni Simeone in that game. I think around the 68th minute, he was substituted. However, Osihmhen's his agent demanded for an apology from Napoli. That I think that was 2 days ago. But Napoli has released a statement this afternoon, and that statement does not look like an apology. So what do you think? Have you seen the statement?
That statement is as if they are forcing them to apologize.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as if they
It
meant it. So it shows the regard they have for their star player. The writing has always been on the wall. Italy is a
Italians.
racist country, and it's very easy for you to turn from hero to villain.
The same thing happened to Lukaku in Inter.
So
In Inter Milan.
a lot of Napoli players have missed penalties over the years. Kava missed like 3 penalties last season.
Zielinski,
He missed a
Politano
decisive
also
penalty in the Champions League.
So
And
are we seeing Osihmhen leaving Napoli very soon, based on this particular situation?
I
Well,
don't think
I
it's
mean-
I don't think it's enough for him to leave, and a lot of clubs came for him at the back end of last season during the transfer window, and the clubs talked to him. They offered him a new contract, but he has not signed a new contract. He has 2 more years left. So I don't think he will leave in January. Maybe at the end of the season. In January, how many clubs can afford him? Most clubs have stretched their financial fair play. Arsenal had to collect Raya on loan.
I mean, the only
Because
option
they
he
couldn't
has now is to go to Saudi Arabia. That is if he wants to leave in January,
January,
but
yeah,
he won't go
so-
to Saudi Arabia.
So
So that's the challenge.
I don't
So-
think he'll leave in January towards at the end of this season.
All right. All right, guys. One love to Victor Osihmhen. Keep your head up, brother.
But I hope it doesn't
love you,
affect
bro.
his game performance and all
No,
that.
it didn't affect his game. Yesterday he scored.
Because he scored, but he was substituted in the 68
Now was-
minutes. That's very, very strange.
So the reason why he was substituted is because they have a league game this Saturday, and they have a Champions League game next week. And let me tell you, I know most people will not want to admit this with me, or they will probably say maybe I don't like Osihmhen. Giovanni Simeone is equally a good striker. When you compare the kind of as in his capacity,
there are different type of players.
he's equally, Simeone
Yeah.
scored 17 goals this season. Osihmhen scored 14 goals before Napoli bought him. He scored more than Osihmhen, and he has been in the Italian Serie A for a while. So he should not mess it up, or how will I say it?
Giovanni Simeone has never been really consistent. The season he scored 17 goals. That's his best output since
Yeah, I
he-
agree
since
with
he-
you.
So he
I
has
agree
never
with
been
you.
consistent.
I agree with
I don't think that was the only season that he was the first choice striker. He has always been a bit part player.
Right.
And Raspadori too is also there. He's also a good player.
So I just hope it doesn't affect his game, and his teammates embrace him and show him love.
Show him love. He really needs that.
We love you, Osihmhen. We love you.
from the team, and
Love
shout
you,
out to
bro.
Osihmhen. Big love. Put your head up, and guys, we come to the end of the show today, and shout out to you guys for watching. We love you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channels on all social media platforms. Thank you guys, and see you next week.